Hi, I'm Dr. Lanier. Thanks for coming by my video. And I am purposely doing this video today outdoors. Some of the worst audio distractions that could be going on. There's some guy with a jackhammer 5 doors up working in some rock and doing some construction. Birds are chirping, I hear. Every now and then cars are going to go by, and maybe even the mailman's going to go by in his loud truck. I don't know. But the topic of today's video, I want to be centered around meditation. Now, I almost just decided not to do this, but now I want you to know how human Dr. Lanier is, but how genuine meditation can be in the context of real life. As my wife and I say, because she's a life and health and wellness coach, we often say, well, you can't wait for life to stop in order to succeed at being healthy and being well for the rest of your life. Today is the best example that I could possibly use to say, okay, yes, it is beneficial to have a quiet time to do meditation, but this is an illustration of why meditation is so important. Starting your day, finishing your day. During the day, I may have to stop, do some breathing exercises, refocus on what God has for me to do today, whether it's taking care of patients, whether it is taking care of personal issues, whether it is communicating, whether it's being in community, whether it is going to bed at night. No matter what it is, it requires a refocusing, which is how I look at meditation. Meditation is one, if not the best, ways of dealing with anxiety, fear, like I said, refocusing, living life to the fullest, that I know of. Nothing stands alone. Meditation doesn't stand alone. Eating well doesn't stand alone. Sleep doesn't stand alone. But meditation, having to do with any one of those areas, is probably the most powerful tool that you or I could have in our toolbox. So when I say meditation, let me define it as a time where we are clearly focused on something. I'm going to use myself as an example, and my wife and I like to call it prayer-itation because we kind of combine prayer and meditation at the same period of time. And so I start off by reading truth about what my day needs to start off with, and that's determined by different resources. I'm going to use an example today from the Bible, and Jesus said at one point, I'm going to look down and read it, excuse me. Jesus said the eye is the lamp of the body. If your eye is clear, then your whole body will be healthy. If your eyes are healthy, your whole body will be full of light. And as you look into what this verse means, it's originally written in Greek and not English, and so some of the Greek words actually identify the idea of if your eye is clean and healthy, meaning it has a clear focus, then the rest of the body follows. And when it talks about the rest of the body following, it's talking about the rest of the body in opposition will not try to pursue multiple things at once. It is focused in one direction. So, anytime in functional medicine we talk about helping with cardiovascular issues or neurodegenerative diseases or weight loss or anxiety or you name it, hormonal issues, nothing and no one part of your health pillars stand alone. But when it comes to what is very important in this whole process, it is the focus. It is the why. It is the being ready. Why are you coming to me to talk about functional medicine? Why are you coming to this video to listen about meditation? Why? And so the why becomes extremely important for change, because something has to change. So if I talk about meditation, let's focus on the most important part of meditation, and that is when. Generally speaking, as you get started and learn about meditation, and there's other resources to help you with that, but we talk about time, and that has to do with your whole life, as you well know. So pick a time, and one of the times really should be when your day gets started. And if you say, I don't know how to do that, I have to fix lunch for my kids, I have to do so many things when I wake up before I have to leave to go to work, well then, of course, then the idea is to get up earlier. So if you want to have, and it requires this much time, if you want to have 30 minutes of a time just for you to get the day focused, then let's do that first thing in the morning. What has been proven from research is that 5 minutes to 15 minutes creates some relaxation. Meditation, where brain waves actually change, is in the 20-minute to 25-minute range. So I would say that as you're learning to meditate, and today's video is not a complete lesson on that, I'll follow up, but if you're going to do meditation, you have to have a few minutes, there's no exact science, a few minutes to focus that meditation session. And I usually focus on a particular truth. Let's just say if I took these words of truth that I just read to you, I would focus on the I being clear, the EYE being clear, the direction, narrowing it down to the I, not 5 or 6 different things that I have to do today, but the focus. What is my focus? What is it that God wants me to do today? What is it that I've been called to do for the world, to help people, to do whatever it is that I am prepared to do today? I would spend those first few minutes just getting focused. That's part of meditation, but it is not meditating. So you're actually going to meditate for just a few minutes in the process, and you will know when those brain waves get to that point, you are meditating, and you find yourself relaxed, you find yourself breathing regularly, not holding your breath, your shoulders relax down, and you are in that part of the process where the brain waves have changed. It's not always accomplished, I'm going to warn you, but that is where you can end up, and it is not permanent, but it is lasting. Brain waves change. Your brain is cool. We call plastic, not rigid, and your brain benefits from these brain waves. If you don't ever do meditation, your brain doesn't have the advantage for starting the day with extra power, if you will, to get done what today has for you. So even with distractions, even with all that's on your plate, and I can promise you, by the time you're 73 like me, you've got a plate that is overloaded if you wanted it to just be everything that has to get done today, or this week, or this month, or before I die. Plenty on everybody's plate. Starting with the early morning focused time is essential to your total health. It will help your hormones. It will help your sleep tonight when you go to bed. It will help you accomplish the things that you can take off your plate so that your anxiety is helped. So many different things. So moving on, as you sit down and you focus and you choose, I choose to read from the Bible or from a devotional book, but you can choose from whatever your need is for the day if that's necessary. Motivation to focus on that and to see what God has for you as you sit and think and ponder and meditate on that. So you sit down, you have a focus, takes a few minutes to get there. I prefer having my eyes closed, taking 3 deep breaths through your nose, and I'm speeding it up, and out your mouth slowly. And as you let it out your mouth, you let it all out, all the way, all the way. Another deep breath in. And then again, you would do it more slowly, and slowly let it out, all the way out, all the way out, all the way out. And this is a mechanism. This is part of your body's physiology. Another deep breath in through your nose. Deep, all the way in, and slowly let it out through your mouth, all the way. Push it with your belly, all the way out. So at least 3 deep breaths in, slowly letting it out, pushing it out through your belly. And that is the relaxation part of this process. And as you do that, you will find that you will come into focus. Now, a great resource is a book called Accomplishing More and Stressing Less by Emily Fletcher. That's where I started. And she does a great job of introducing to you the science of meditation as well as the practice of meditation. And I highly recommend that book. So as you begin to relax, and that is the first 5-10 minutes, that you breathe and that you focus. In her book, she encourages this. We will all be distracted, and then we don't have to worry about that. I keep a notepad by me, and when I'm distracted, I make a note of those things I'm distracted, and I re-enter into my thought process. So as you do that, that's how, in my opinion, and this is what Emily Fletcher makes a point of also, that's how I actually accomplish more and stress less. So I make a note of those things, and then I can forget about it at that point and focus on the focus I'm focusing on. Sorry about those repetitious words. And then you continue. And so as you continue, if it's a morning time and you have a commitment for 30 minutes, let's just say, you can set your alarms, because I don't want you thinking about when is 30 minutes up, because sometimes you can get into your meditation and it is doing you so much good that you could actually surpass 30 minutes, benefit greatly from it. But if you have your day needing to get started, like most of us do, you can set an alarm, a mild alarm, so that in 30 minutes, if you go past, you can be alerted that you've gone past. However, as you go into your meditation and you start it with breathing, and now you're focused on your focus, I'm going to start cutting this video short, but we'll get into that again with we'll say the next video. I'll do that next. That part is now entering into meditation. Your brain waves have actually started to change, and without telling you the science of that, you will begin to benefit from that immensely. And there are times where I meditate, and not often, but sometimes, where I'm almost between sleep and wake, but I'm meditating, and I'm aware that I'm meditating, but I'm barely there in terms of not consciousness, because I'm not fainting, but total relaxation. And I do believe at that point that your brain is benefiting. You're benefiting like you're having a good, happy, joyful moment. But it has no particular emotion involved in it, except that relaxation has occurred. And so now you're starting those brain waves. The next 10 to 12 to 15 minutes, you can meditate with those brain waves when you are well trained to do that. And it takes practice. And just keep practicing, just like anything else. So now, when you're finishing with your meditation, and again, I'm going to follow this up, then you're going to go to a place of coming back, if you will, for lack of a better word. Not like you went somewhere, but in your mind you did go somewhere, and you needed to go somewhere. All the jackhammers and all the bird singing and the mailman and the mail that's coming today and the bills that need to be paid, that is always present. So you do need to go somewhere else. That's the purpose of starting early, for it being quiet and not having so much noise. You need to go to that place. So when you come back from that place, okay, now you can take deep breaths just like when you started, and then refocus on today. Refocus on this, and sometimes it comes from your meditation. These are the things that I'm looking forward to doing and accomplishing today. In myself personally, in the world that I have a job to do, in the people's lives that I influence every day, in my family, in loving, in work, in rest, in play. Come back. And as you come back, you can move towards those things that you entered into meditation to accomplish. So let me leave it at that. I do feel like, even though I was talking about meditation, I was doing my best to insert myself to lead you into the greatest amount of truth I can in the shortest amount of time about meditation. We'll continue with this thought, but meditation, it will benefit every single system of your body that you are trying to improve on, so that you can be well for the rest of your life, and you can be strong, and you can be transformed, and you can be renewed, and you can have a single eye that will make the rest of your body healthy. Thanks for stopping by. Stay tuned for my next video.